What is up? Welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brenton Savage, the coach of the Savage Turbo. SuperCoach is a game, the NRL is a game, but this podcast, it's an experience. I'm joined by the 2021 champion, Timmy Moody. Just spicing it up a bit, eh?
Yeah, that was like a little bit of a NRL sort of promo they were doing last year. What were they going for? They were going for... Real? Was it real? Unreal. Real and unreal.
Oh, like expect the unexpected or something like that.
It's unreal.
I don't know what that was, but...
Yeah, it was real and unreal. You know, it was cool. I don't know. Probably a bit of marketing, bit of play on words. I think you look every week you're bringing a little bit more. Last week you were sort of, you know, sprucing your own NRL SuperCoach side via...
by marketing skills.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see, mate.
How are you going? What's the wrap-up from last week's podcast? Because I know... You know, we do the podcast and there's a bit of a debrief. There's things, you know, we need to bring to the surface again. Nothing in particular that I can think of at the top of the dome, but...
Well, the Green Book, which we often refer to as the Black Book, has some new names in it which we haven't touched on from last week's podcast that I've added in there. The like 760K to 500K second rowers. Chucked a couple in there.
Stay tuned for that because I think we'll go over that as a second row as a whole.
As we chuck them all in.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sure. And so, yeah, in doing that, I'm feeling quite good because I see in a lot of chats, there's a lot of people still stressing out about whether they're going to go the 3-gun fullbacks or if they're going to go the 2 guns and a Yongi or something like that. And I'm not worried about it because I'm just sort of just letting it take its course. There's names coming into the Green Book that'll fill whatever scenario comes come TLT. So I'm just going to adapt it. Like at the moment, I'm kind of feeling like my gut says probably the Yongi. Like, cause I was going,
ooh,
yeah, I know. I was going Yongi to start with. And I was like, oh yeah, better do 3-gun fullbacks. Don't want to fall behind. But now more and more I think about it.
Get it closer to you.
More and more I think about it. I'm like, if it doesn't work out and the 3 guns don't work out and only 2 of them pull off, you know, and if it's the 2 that the other 2 have got and then you've got Yongi and, you know, then you're falling behind, especially if the rest of the side, you know, you're really taking sacrifices there and people already winning, kicking goals there. And then you've got to
So you think by going Yongi, you're probably not going to lose because...
To start with, yeah, I don't think so. And I think, because I reckon we're all going to downgrade to him. I do think so. It might be nice to get that 2 weeks of premiums, especially if they do hit it. But the more and more I think about it, like think about Buller. I know he's not Buller. I'm going to look at his junior highlights when I go in tonight because I should wait till I get the fullbacks, but I'm getting a bit keen on him. I don't know more about him. But yeah, I just think about how he went. He was kind of a must-have, and that was in the middle part of the year. And now we've got 3 spots. So I think it's getting a little bit greedy, maybe going too hard for the 3. I don't know. I'm up in the air, and I'm not overthinking it. But when it comes to my mind, I'm like, hey, doesn't matter. It's not time for that. We're on the second row. As long as do your homework on those. And
yeah, it's funny you say that because before the flex came into fruition, like I was saying to myself, okay, not many people are going to do it, but I'm going to start Yongi in my second fullback spot. Like I was going to start Yongi as a second fullback, not even as a third fullback. So I was so high on him in the preseason, and I've talked myself into the 3-gun fullbacks, and I see lots of positives for both sides. But it's funny when it kicks off, and you know you've got an 800K player playing, and you see the 2 teams go to battle. I know every time I get the sick gut feeling in my stomach that all these players are on level playing fields now. Like they're at this price because of last year. They're level playing fields now. So especially round 1 when everyone's primed and ready to go, I think it's a scary prospect to know that one way someone is going to fail and the other way just could go completely different way. I think
it's too much of a fail. I think it's just one's going to adjust and it's not too much of a catching up. The only way it could really fail, I think, is if the 3-gun fullbacks just really sort of fluff out and then the rest of your side are really not doing good and then you've got to upgrade all them and you're selling them and you're making all these trades to where everyone else has got a bit more balance.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I kind of think though. Like, I guess if you're going Yongi, are you going Cleary Hines?
Well, there's
Because-
so many combos they're like that. The stress hasn't come for me yet, and that's why I'm not stressing out. But I probably will be soon as we get through it a bit more.
Yeah.
But because it's like, I see teams that have got 2-gun centers, they got 2-gun halves. So it's kind of like I've always been like probably just picking one of Nathan and Hines. I'm probably leaning Hines at this stage, and then 2-gun fullbacks, Yongi, and a bit of balance everywhere else. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still also thinking maybe the 3-gun fullbacks. I don't think the 2-gun halves may be necessary for me yet.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the more and more, haven't looked into it yet, and they're both at kind of irresistible prices.
Yeah. They kind of are. They're very underpriced for what they can produce, both of the halfbacks. But I guess, like, I don't know, it's something for another episode. I have actually answered something to do with Cleary on the Q&A podcast, which I just recorded before you came in. So I'm very excited to see where we end up with the fullback podcast and the halves as well, which will be recorded next week. I'm not sure if you're in, but you are?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you're in. We're going to talk about halves, and then we'll talk about strategies with the fullback. All right. First, YouTube. We are on 2,677 subscribers.
Hello, YouTubers.
Let's get to 3,000 by the season start. We're getting more views than we have subscribers. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Head over to our Patreon as well. We're doing some team reviews. We're getting Patreon members on the podcast, and I'm going to review their team. They're going to tell me about things they like about their team and try and convince me on certain tactics, and vice versa. So there's a little bit of fun going on there.
Good opportunity for the listeners, the followers, the Patreoners,
the patriotic people. I did want to talk. I did want to talk about just some general life stuff before we got on, because I wanted to talk about last week and how we were like rushing to get in, and how frantic we were getting in and getting out. I got fined on the way out.
Oh yeah, that was pretty nuts.
And I forget why I wanted to bring that up.
You got pulled over by the popo.
Yeah, I got pulled over. Oh, I got pulled over by the police, right?
Yeah.
I got the fine in the mail yesterday.
The funny thing was, I'm like, just be cool, man. Just explain. You're not from around here, and just you didn't know. And he's like, I know I did the wrong thing, and I know you caught me. And I'm like, oh no! But yeah, I don't think you're going to get out anyway.
I was in a bus lane. I turned in. I went to go in a bus lane. I didn't know it was a bus lane, and then the police saw me, and I'm like, shit. I got a $750 fine. That's only $100 less than Ezra, man.
What? That's rough.
I was in a bus lane, for God's sake. But we move on. It's fine. I'm just going to be riding around on them line bikes like we were in the Sunshine Coast, because I love them.
Give us a double
line
next
bikes.
week or something.
But yes, I am procrastinating because one of the good mates of the show, the Masked Wolf, Harry, he's been stinging for us to talk about this player. And he's the first cab off the rank. We're talking about the second rollers today. I can't procrastinate anymore. Jai Arrow, $497,500. He played 69 minutes at an average last year, 9 games on the edge, 2 games off the bench. So he didn't play any middle minutes, really. So his price is based on him playing on the edge. I do expect him to play middle this year, but the injury to Ewan Aitken has me a bit wary about it. If he plays middle, I think my perception around him changes. But you know, he's got a decent base of about 47-ish, 46. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Jai Arrow?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because, you know, the last 2 years it's been injury concerns. 11 games last year, 14 games year prior. 51 average in 2024. Yeah. And then 46 average in 2023, 56 average in 2022, 52 average. It just doesn't seem like there's much value. Like, even if he goes to the best of that, it's like maybe 5-6 points value. And yeah, he just went on 1 year on again. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I don't like it. He's 2% owned. I think that might be Masked Wolf making a few teams, like one for his mum, one for his wife, one for his sister, one for the guy that stands behind him when he's DJing. You know how DJs have always got one guy standing behind him?
Yeah, he's not a DJ, though.
Oh, he's a rapper.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's always like one guy sort of doing that still, isn't there, behind the rapper?
Yeah, so he gets other guys to do the work for him. He just like puts the vocals over the top. So we're going to do the work for him and say no, Jai Arrow, 497,000. I just think people at the price, not even at the price. I think just in the position of front row and second row. There's your Corey Horsburgh, who we've already talked about. There's the Nafahu White. There's many other options.
Both are jewels and are cheaper.
Yep. Aaron Clark, who is cheaper, who I love a lot more for 100K cheaper. I actually saw a memory come up in my Snapchat. I don't know why Snapchat gives you memories on photos you have in your camera roll for years past. And Jai Arrow was on my watch list for 2021. And it's just the same story every year. He drags us in. Some people bite, and I think less people are biting because they know that fish stinks.
Well, he's always got a new haircut, so he's always looking kind of fresh and a bit different and revived, so don't fall into it. No
mullet because of Wayne Bennett coming into the side this year. I got to say, Wayne Bennett coming to the club is a bit attractive.
It's kind of like that Simpsons meme, how they do it with the no sideburns.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems like that.
Yeah, I know that one. So Kurt Capewell's number 50. I think he plays off the bench anyway, so I'm not too fast on Kurt Capewell. Scott Sorensen, number 51, 485,500. In 2024, he averaged 49.6, so he's priced at a 49.6. If you take away the injury-affected games, that goes to a 57 for him. If he does get that edge spot, I think he is a bit of value. But just the talk of Papali'i coming into the side, and even if Papali'i doesn't start the year, I'm a bit worried about his starting role as a second rower.
Who's this, Kurt Capewell?
Scott Sorensen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Kurt Capewell. I'm just sitting there going, where's me? Yeah, okay, I'm with Scott Sorensen too now. Okay, I heard you did say something about Kurt Capewell going.
Yeah, I was like, I think he plays bench. I'm not really fussed. But if you want to talk about Kurt Capewell, then we could talk about Kurt Capewell. If you want to go that deep into the glory hole.
Yeah, no. I've just got in back row, he averages 57.5, which would be great value. Yep. But the minutes are 70.5 when he's doing that, which I can't expect that to be there with the amount of other people all sort of trying to get a go in that. Luke Garner and whether, IPAP's actually just in that spot. So I don't know, maybe Scott Sorensen plays. It's a lot of question about how they're going to go about with who plays a bit through the middle. They're both very versatile, but yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it with...
There's even the talk of, sorry to cut you off, but the Liam Martin I saw something today about possibly going into front row as well. Yeah. So that shifts even the dynamics again.
I think just with... I was thinking about it the other day because I listened to some podcasts like the League of Inches podcast, and they're pretty hot on Isaiah Papali'i.
Yeah, I like him too.
And I was just thinking about it like, when was the last time we really had a Supercoach relevant Penrith forward besides Isaiah Yeo? Like, I
You're
think...
saying that he won't be? He won't be?
I don't think IPAP, I think he's more Supercoach friendly than a lot of these guys. But I think Liam Martin really had Supercoach potential at one point, but that just completely died off. I think what the forwards are...
Kicker had his well in 2021.
That's true, but I think they've moved away from that a little bit. I think their forwards are their defensive weapons, whereas the backs are the guys who get the meters, and the forwards aren't getting them run meters like they used to, and it's just not... They're not getting that good base that they need to be really pepped up into that elite status. Like, they're probably getting enough attacking stats here and there, but they're just not getting the run meters and the runs over 8 meters enough, because the back three for Penrith are just taking it away from them.
They do a lot of that, yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping that he just gets revived, and because he was super, super good at Para. Maybe at Para that he was their main feature, target, go-to sort of thing, but... And he might be just sort of blend in a bit more at Penrith. But, yeah, I don't know. There's a little bit of me that thinks that maybe it might take a while for him to actually really just get going. But then, as I was saying last week, I think he's going to kind of want to hit the ground running, coming into a new side and prove he's the guy. And so I'm still pretty big on him. The price, you can't go too wrong. I don't think he's going to lose money.
We're meant to be talking about Scott Sorensen. We're not really meant to be dwelling on IPAP, but we can go back to IPAP. If he's on Cleary's side, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with people taking him punt because I don't think you're losing much. But at the same time, I agree with that. Penrith tend to blood these guys in a bit slower. Melbourne kind of do the same as well. Sean Bloor didn't really start the season last year. Eli Katoa took a while to get in Penrith.
I still think he's on a different level, though, IPAP. I still think he's a bit more seasoned. He's
a Kiwi international, and I guess instead of him, they were looking to sign Dave Feeder.
And kind of like a Coruscant. Like then you bring him to they're big. They just go straight into the spot. They don't have to sort of sit behind or earn a spot. I don't think.
Yeah,
and it just depends how much respect Cleary's got for the other boys, and having those spots ahead of him. I don't know, but I think he'd go into. Nah, but anyway, just Scott Sorensen.
Scott Sorensen, if he gets a start, are you interested at the price?
No, I just think the minutes will be too risky and a bit... He probably might shift into the middle, but I think there's better guys at the price and too many question marks over that. I'd like to see his role a bit more before I was to get him into my side.
I guess even if he does get the starting spot, that probably means IPAP hasn't won the starting spot, which means it's... potentially inevitable.
I'd be prepared to take more of a risk on IPAP, not knowing his role as much, just because I think that, I think he's got a bit more to give. Supercoach wise too.
Dylan Walker, 484,800. Tohu Harris, shock retirement, has opened up a spot for Dylan Walker in the starting side. Dylan Walker, when Tohu Harris was on the field last year, averaged 55.8 minutes per game at an average of 46.33. When Tohu Harris wasn't on the field, he averaged 73.5 minutes at a 56.11 average. So there is a lot of value there. It just, to me... it's him or Aaron Clark who get that position. Murata Niokore could get that position instead, and maybe Capewell does start. But I really see one of these guys playing as a starting 13 and one of them coming off the bench. And I think whoever gets the starting 13 role, there's Supercoach game written all over him.
Yeah, I'm not that big on him at all. Just looking back over the years, his average last year was 50. Years prior, 42, 41, 44. At lock, starting in lock, I believe, or playing in lock, is 14 games for an average of 49. So that's pretty much where he's 490k, 485k. Yeah, and that's with an average of 61.5 minutes in that spot too. So I don't think it's for me. Then there's I've isolated as well. Lock when he's in lock and going over 65 minutes, and he jumps to 57. So maybe a little bit of value, but not a great deal. And that's playing average of 74 minutes. So even if he's pretty much on the park most of the time in lock, 7 games there for an average of 57.
Yeah, I also think with Dylan Walker, he's getting a little bit older as well. So, naturally, just the game will regress. Yeah. Naturally. So
currently 0% owned.
Oh, there you go. It's good we can see ownerships now. It's open day. Connolly Lemuelu, 483,500. I'm not sure who gets the starting edge role. I haven't written down anything on him because I looked at his stats from last year and I think he is what he is. He has a little bit of upside, but he's pretty much priced at what he produced, 49 last year. His upside is 80 by the look of it, and I'm not very keen on him. Toby Couchman, with Francis Molo going from the club, announced last week a massive opportunity for Couchman in the front row. Hopefully he does get the front row duel and potentially gets a starting role. I did do this profile before Emre Gula was signed to the club, so egg on my face. But regardless, I'm still pretty keen on Toby Couchman. In 2024, he averaged 49.4. It doesn't scream immediate value straight away, but looking into his numbers, if he gets 50 minutes, he's at about a 1.2 ppm.
Yeah, it was 1.31 for an average of 49. He was playing 38 minutes last year on average.
37 minutes a game and scoring 49.4. So, if he gets 50 minutes in the middle, there's a lot of value to be had there. But I guess at the price at 483,000, it's a lot to pay for someone who isn't quite proven yet. But I think you've got to look at these guys on the up, and these are the guys where it might not necessarily read numbers-wise, but it could translate just in their natural development.
Could only find one bigger minute game for him, which was over 45 minutes. It was 46 minutes exactly. He scored 52 points in that game, so it's a very small sample size. Being the one game, you can't really read much into it. But, I don't know. I think it's kind of one you want to just wait and see first and just make sure of it. You could have I think Grant had a little hunch on him in the chat I might have read.
He did.
Yeah, not one I'm confident on until I see a consistent role. But he's definitely got the ticker, like PPM of 1.31 is nothing to bat an eyelash at.
I agree. He's someone who I think SuperCoach-wise, very friendly game. He's a smaller forward, so I think if Shane Flanagan kind of leans into these younger guys, the Couchman twins just re-signed in the off-season as well, so big raps on them. So once he does get a role, I guess just with him, 483,000. If you're buying him, he's probably going to be your first or second guy, and at that price, I kind of want
better
him,
guys, eh?
I want him to be maybe the fifth or fourth at best guy at some point during the season.
Guys like Tino ain't that much more.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Gilbert.
Yep.
Tom Gilbert, 467,000. He's priced at a 47 average. He averaged 59 in 2023, so we're already seeing 12 points value there. I think with Tom Gilbert, his return has just been so anticipated for so long, and there's been a lot of chat around him. He's never really been SuperCoach relevant, but it also depends where he plays. He averaged 59 in 2023 playing through the middle. 49, he had a 49 in floor when he played games over 50 minutes. So I guess for the Dolphins, if he does play, I probably bet he plays over 50 minutes. So already you're getting minimum value there. He played number 13 though. So if he plays number 8, he'll get very similar roles like that. But he averaged 47 on the edge in 2022. So you're probably getting what you're paying for at least, but I don't see much upside just yet.
Yeah, so you said he averaged, I think, 47 in the back row.
Price at a 47, average 59 in 2023, 49 was his average 47 on the edge, yes.
Yeah. No, that's
took
fine.
me a while to get there.
Yeah, so I've just got, in general in back row, so not just for last year, but he had 22 games there, averaging 48, so it's pretty consistent, that 47, 48. The base is 47, so it's all base. Even when he's playing prop, average of 45.5, only 6 games there, but his base was 48. He had negative points, that his base was higher than his actual score, so a couple of negative points there, which is just a bit fun to look at. But yeah,
I find that with a lot of people actually.
Yeah.
I guess with him, where does he play? I think there's a good chance he plays second row. The likes of Felice Kafusi, Kenny Bromwich, there's Daniel Safidi who's gone to the club, Max Plath locked into number 13.
Yeah.
You got, Ray Stone, Mark Nichols coming off the bench.
Did you say Finifeki Filiaki?
He's playing on the edge, and then there's Lemuelu as well. Yeah. So
that's with a lot of competition, new coach.
Potentially Gilbert plays up front, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know, and I don't like taking a punt on someone who doesn't really have the upside. And if there's high risk, low reward, then
currently 8% owned, which seems like a lot.
I understand that. Just because
the base, so he gets the minutes.
It's not even the base. I think it's just people think he's undervalued. Okay. I don't think he is, because he averaged 59 in 2023, so he is undervalued from what he produced in 2023. But based on what he's going to produce this year in a different position, in a different side.
Yeah.
Did he play for the Dolphins in 2023?
I think he intended to, but he didn't get to go.
Yeah, he must have.
Oh, you're talking about last year? Last
2023.
Year. Yeah, he did play.
They came into the comp in 2023, didn't they?
Yeah, 11 games in 2023, out with ACL.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And that was when they were hot under Wayne Bennett as well. So small sample size there, but yeah, I'm not keen on him at all. Jack Williams, 455,000, average 46 minutes in 2024. I don't see him getting much more than that. He had 3 games starting in 2024, though. He had a 64 for 58 minutes. He had a 93 in 60 minutes. And he had a 58 in 75 minutes. So he averaged 71 when starting at number 13. I don't think he plays number 13 over Jermaine Hopgood, but there's a good chance that he does start at number 10, number 8 in the front row. And if that happens, there's a bit of value there, but he's not available in front row, which I don't like. So for me, I'd put a line through him, but I think just based on that, if he doesn't start, I want him not to start the year, and then I want him to come in and play a role as a front row like Josh Curran did at some point last year.
SuperCoach wise, but he can be very meat and potatoes. But
I think he's got a lot of potential, Jack Williams, SuperCoach wise. I've said this to a lot of people, and they just say a lot of the time, you just can't hold on to the pill. You can. There's nothing more frustrating than someone in an Oztag team that can't hold on to the pill. That you could be the fastest person on the team and drop the pill every second. Ugh!
Can't run without the ball. Can't run without your head. Two things can't run without.
I think. Takiaho, 453,000. Priced at a 46. His last few seasons, he's averaged 58, 57, 64, 58. So on the surface, there's value there. There's a lot of value there, apparently. 12 points value. He averaged 50 minutes for most of the years, except in 2020 when he averaged 57 minutes. That's when he averaged 64. Yeah. But 2 years on, like, he was in the twilight of his career when he left.
Yeah, I thought he was, like, really on the way out and finished making a bit of a comeback hurrah. Maybe he's gone really good over there. I don't know. I haven't looked into it much. Maybe he's just at the right price for them to be able to bring him back and afford him into their side within their salary cap. But I don't know how he went over there. I didn't look into him too much just because I thought there was a bit too much unknown. Yep. But then there is the factor of, would he potentially kick goals?
I don't think so. It's Ruben Garrick first, obviously.
Yeah, he's going to Manly.
And then Daly Cherry Evans.
Of course not. Yeah, I'm thinking he's going back to...
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's going back to the Roosters.
Yeah, there's no chance. I think Daly Cherry Evans kicks goals over him as well. So there's that as well. I'm not very keen on him. I think Manly middles are kind of awkward as well. They don't really play the minutes. It's kind of like the Sharks where they don't really play big minutes. Actually, a report came out today about Adam Fanua-Blake. You saw a photo. You sent it in the chat. Looking fit as a fiddle. But a quote came out that the rotation in the Sharks
Photoshop, not actually that fit. No, just kidding.
No, the rotation in the Sharks is very good, so you will see him play less minutes. So I think that backs up what we're talking about last week. Minutes-wise, although were we arguing about it?
I was not arguing. I was just saying that I still could see him sort of going to there to play that role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they've lacked having anyone that could play that role.
To be fair, the quote was saying you might see him play a little less minutes. So it could be 55.
He might play a little bit less minutes, but he's like even fitter. I mean, he could be punching out bigger PPM and being more vicious, more ruthless and sprinting to the try line from the 20-metre line.
I was at Cronulla Shops yesterday and I saw all the Cronulla players and I was just so starstruck. Will Kennedy was the only one not in a training kit, FYI. He had a stitched eyebrow. So that could be a little insight. Maybe a Cheapie and Cade Dykes or Liam Myson at the back.
It's a while for a stitched eyebrow.
But Blake Brayley, like, he looks a lot bigger in real life than you expect him to look. Like, he looks like a little pipsqueak. Anyway, I'm very excited about this next lot of players coming up. Anyone we talked about in your black book yet?
No.
No?
No.
Then we've really dug deep there to get through to here.
Yep.
I think this is where we start to find some value.
There might be some people that are interested in those, so it's worth touching on them too, you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, of course. I've got Liam Martin here. Have you got anyone before that?
No, he's the next one I've sort of gone to as well.
I've just flagged him just because I think it's worth noting. He's priced at a 45. A lot of injury-affected games last year. I remember a quote coming out late in the year, Cleary saying, you know, I knew Liam Martin was on this week because he did the gym this week and he hasn't done gym all year because he's been injured. So
it's funny how he's renowned for not being. He doesn't look like he does either. He's just sort of, a beast. But it's all heart.
Yeah. He averaged 55.3 in 80-minute games last year.
How much was that? Say it again.
55.3.
How often did he do that, do you know?
I think he played like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
I didn't put that down, but he did play a 70-minute game as well.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Why have you got something?
No, not necessarily. I was just trying to think. I've never really thought about the amount of minutes he actually plays.
Well, yeah, I just assumed he was like an 80-minute player.
Yeah, I feel like he's always there for the most part, but then he's kind of always not for a bit too. But it seems like I always would have thought he would have been like off for 10 minutes or something like that, if anything.
Well, I think there was like one 70-minute game here. I'll look into it now.
So the rest of them are more like 68 or 65 or something like that?
Well, so the first game against Melbourne, 75. The next two, 80 minutes. And then he played a 38-minute game against the Roosters, and then 80 minutes, and then 55 minutes, and then 80 minutes, and then 67 minutes, then 59, then 80, then 40, then 71, then 80, 80, 80, 70, 80, 70, 64.
So for the most part, there's just a couple of random ones. There might have been things that were going on in a couple of those ones, a couple of little twings or something like that.
There's a couple of 40s there, which like a 38-minute, a 40-minute, and then there's like a...
Maybe were they around or after Origin or something like that, possibly, before giving him a bit
Round 12 was before Origin, and he played 40 minutes.
There was something in that.
There was a 38 he played in round 4, so that was...
So I normally wouldn't have flagged him at all. Like, it's not that I'm overly keen on him. I just, looking at the price, it looks not that bad. Like, $430K for Liam Martin, just like as a footy player, whether you look at it as SuperCoach or whatever, like it seems good. I think most rookie SuperCoaches would look and probably chuck
be
him
like,
in that's pretty good.
I think I wanted to flag this though, because there are some good stats there with 80-minute games, but don't be wool-pulled by the name. Because like I really like him playing next to Nathan Cleary, right edge back rower, but he averaged this for a reason, because like
the good thing that's got me sort of like a little bit interested just to find out a bit more. It's just the sprint training and the agility stuff.
Yes, true.
Is that with
Roger Fabry?
Fabry, he's been doing it with, He's been working on those like angles and turning speed, like hitting the cones and just stuff like that, and just because he said he's had a funny run. And then
have you been doing sprint training too?
I've taken 20 seconds off my 800. I don't know. No, I can't run.
I just
it pops up.
He was hitting the cone.
It pops up. Good one. I like it. That's good.
Good gear.
No, it's good stuff.
Good gear.
Yeah, so that could be cool. Like if he takes it and he's a bit more of a, not just a beast.
Actually, I saw the thing on Roger Fabry. I'm sorry to interfere there, but Roger Fabry actually said like his running technique was just so awkward, and he's really cleaned it up a lot, and like, I wouldn't say completely changed it, but like the way he was running, he was never going to get any speed out of it anyway. So he's tried to work on that.
Could be fun, could be exciting, could be something to keep an eye on. His average last year, 44.5. Year prior, 58. So if he could go to that sort of level, it's only year prior.
I guess me with the 55.3 in 80 minutes, like it kind of checks out with his true average. Potentially playing in the middle a bit, which gives him a bit of a bump up in base.
Maybe less than minutes, but maybe not. Yeah, it might be like 60 minutes or something. Might play 40 minutes on the edge and then 20 in the middle and then come off for the game or something. I don't know.
The question we all want to know is...
I want to just put one other thing I came across too. This is interesting. So Cleary season games. So Nathan Cleary had 19 games in 2023, and that was the year he scored 58. And then Nathan Cleary last year only had 10 games, and he's and then Liam Martin's average drops to 44.5. So there could be something in that as well. If Nath's healthy and Nath's there,
Nath's healthy,
Nath's healthy and everything.
Jeez, from Penrith,
yeah,
of course you are. Yeah, actually, I didn't really look into that. I should have looked into games with them with the Cleary.
Well, that's why you pay me the big bucks.
Well, what we should do is. Did you get the exact games with Cleary and without? Last year?
I didn't, but I can look into that. But I just sort of...
We'll look into it and it'll...
I actually just looked at how many games he played and how many games they played and just looked at that. Yeah.
I'll either put it up in the Patreon or just make it an Instagram post. Nah, we'll just make it an Instagram post. That's all right. All right. The question on everybody's lips is he in the black book?
Oh, we could chuck him in out of curiosity. He's not, because I haven't added these guys. I've only added the top frame ones. Yeah, okay. But let's put him in for fun. Like maybe want to go down and
Yeah, just see
Poke
how
my eyes around and
he's
have
see
a
how he's
look.
going.
Yeah.
With the Black Book, when's the do or die boot camp?
Oh, well, they're all off. If your name's in there, you're gone. I'll send you off. You got on the bus. You join the boys that are already
Yeah,
been
but
there from
when's the
weeks
do
prior.
or die? Like,
TLT. Then it's
Right.
kind of like, all right, boys, thanks for your hard times for the
are you,
last
are you
8
gonna
weeks.
recall
Off you go.
any players once you kick them out?
Oh, yeah, they'll come back into the... Yeah, they'll be good. Yeah.
Jeez,
I'll make sure it's a good relationship. I'll be professional about it, and I'll give them a barbecue or something at least.
It doesn't really sound like a well-run boot camp. An efficient
Mate,
boot,
don't
an
you...
efficient boot
don't you
camp.
talk about the culture of the Billy Army and anything that's going on behind the scenes? It's definitely... We've got our things. We're crossing our T's, dotting our I's.
You've already passed the first test, and you nearly changed allegiances to the Luai's Legends or the Romy's Homies,
Yeah.
or the Sean Johnson.
Well, it was very lucrative, the offer that was coming in to change Supercoach names. But yeah, no, I'll stick to my loyalties.
All right, so Liam Martin is in the Black Book, and like for myself, there's a lot coming up that will be in my personal Black Book myself. When I don't have my Black Book known to public though, but there's a couple coming up right now. Alex,
Your Black Book we can't actually show because it's just less footy players' names and just a bunch of Sheilas.
That's just the Supercoach Experience search feed on Instagram. Alex Seafarth, 435,000. Could get a starting edge role with John Bateman out of the side. He's priced at a 44, but when starting on the edge, he averaged 62.8.
Ooh.
Good little stat there, eh?
Yeah, nice.
0.93 ppm. So if he gets 80 minutes, then he should get up around that 62.8. I like it. 435,000. I love a lot of players at the price. If he gets a starting role, potentially on that right side where Galvin will be. We saw Galvin with Samuel Afanu last year. But if Galvin is not on that side, then we've got the Romy, the Rominator, the Chill, I've got work tomorrow. Chill, you've got work tomorrow. But yeah, chill, because Alex Seafarth could be in my side.
So what competition would he have to compete for that spot?
What do you mean?
You said he potentially could be starting.
Well, John Bateman was the starting edge. He's
Yeah.
got him, there's Samuel Afanu, Ruben Porter potentially. There's not much else, to be honest.
Yeah, so Timmy Williams has got him in the starting side. Fox has got him on the bench. They've got Jack Bird and Samuel Afinu. But I think from what more reports, Jack Bird does seem
plays
locked
lock.
into that lock, so it does make more sense now. Alex Seafarth, I didn't look into him just because he hasn't been someone that's ever really been on my radar.
62.8 on the edge.
How many games has he had there?
I think he had like 6. Can you? I should really put these stats down, but I think they're usually enough to kind of sway someone.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I was just curious.
So last year, I mean, he had 1, 2, 3. He had 3 80-minute games late in the season for 54, 82, and 53. And then there was a 76-minute for 88.
Interesting.
And there was a couple of like bigger minute games as well. So he had a 57-minute for 45. He had a 47-minute for 51. He had a 56-minute for 46. You know, like 55 to 60 minutes, he's getting 50. He's already making value there. But if he starts on an edge, then he's got attacking upside.
A little curious about it.
Yeah,
little
me
curious
too.
about it.
I think he's the type of player that I'm not willing to start with. I just find a lot more... Like, there's a couple of guys we're going to talk about very shortly, which I'm very keen on. But, you know, if I had my own black book that I was putting names into, he'd be in there.
Do some further research.
Is he in?
He's not in the book. He's gone into the big book. I've got to do some further research before chucking him in. But he's in my mind in there. Yeah.
All right. This one is definitely in my black book. And he's in my side currently. Kelma Tuolangi, 438,000. Sorry. I just had some Coke Zero, sorry. 433,800. averaged 67.4 last year when starting in the starting side. He averaged 64.5 when playing more than 50 minutes a game. We're discounting the Penrith game where he played centre and Tago gave him a bath. Priced at a 44. He's rumoured to start and play the right edge. So the rumours are going around. Obviously, naturally, we think Cardi right, the left edge is free, but he's rumoured to play right edge, which is much more appealing in my opinion. Whether Cardi hasn't got that spot or Cardi's moving to a left to accommodate defensively for someone, or maybe they just want a hard-running defensive forward on the right so they can have a bit more flair out the left because they've got enough on the right with, Lomax and Moses.
I like the combination of the speed of Cardi and Moses there, like when they do the little short side raids and then...
I like that too. I don't mind him on either edge, to be honest, because he averaged 67.4 when starting last year on the left edge.
Mm-hmm.
I like him on the right because the last 4 years, Cartwright had resurgent year, averaged 57 and 62 on that side, and go even further back to Papali'i, 79 and 78 on Mitch Moses' side. That Mitch Moses side is a gold mine. I love Kelman Tuolangi as a buy, and if he gets a start, he's in my side.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. For me, when I just look into the stats, 51 games back row, average 42 points. That's with an average of 61 minutes. So it's a PPM of 0.69. I don't see it. I don't know.
You don't see it?
Nah. Like he's getting 42 points in 61-minute games. Unless he's going to play 80 minutes. There's 51 game sample size there. He only had 4 tries in 51 games in the back row. Maybe that's part of the sides he was in, but I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's a midi price where there's a little bit of value. He'd have to really kick on. And I think he'd be more putting it down to what Mitch Moses brings out of him because I don't see there's enough. There's not much there. I'm only looking at the averages. Maybe there's some. Maybe that average of 61 minutes is not a good indication because maybe there's like some 80-minute games that he's played where he's scoring well, and then there's a bunch of 20, 30-minute games that are bringing that average to sort of 60.
Well,
I don't know. I just don't end that average down, but I don't. Is there many big ones in there? Have you looked into?
Yeah, well, there was like an 80, something. He's definitely a try scorer. But
he's only scored 4 tries in 51 games. That's 8%. It's not that good.
Yeah, but don't forget he played for the West Tigers, the wooden spoon side, where like Lockie Galvin, who like has been their first shining light for ages, wasn't in the side at that point
for a year.
Lockie Galvin only just got in there last year, so. Yeah. I just think there's circumstances. He had a chance to nail down that left edge at Manly. He didn't quite do that, so I do see the skepticism. But I kind of think like players do find more clubs more suitable for their playing style, and I think
maybe
Parramatta just seems to be a nice little spot for him. The Tigers was obviously not good. It's not a good environment, and a lot of people have played their worst footy there. I don't know. I just see a lot of upside there. I like the price.
PPM is still 0.69, which I still think is pretty crappy. I'm not talking out of him. I'm not probably that big in. He's not going anywhere near my book.
I just think there's a lot more attacking upside in someone like him than there is like Alex Seafarth did show a lot last year, but like I think Kelman Tuolangi is more of a try scorer. Next to Dylan Brown or Mitch Moses, both good spots.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of would prefer to go at the same price. Not that I probably would go either of them, but I'd probably kind of prefer Liam Martin for 3,000 more, just because the year prior to last he was consistently pumping out 58.
All right, is this our first little side bet of the year?
Nah, because I've thought about that pre-season. I'm not taking any consequences like that.
The haircut.
Felice Kafusi, that was a real, like, that's haunted me for a while.
Well, to be fair, I've still got to do the 24-hour cheeseburger challenge, but I'm waiting till the Sports Shed charity match to do that.
So you can stay fit.
I'm bloody.
You've had all off season to do it prior to that, but anyways, yeah.
Yeah, but I've been training for this. I've been training for this, bro.
cool.
We'll do it in season. I'm definitely doing it this year, though. Okay. All right, coming to Alungi. All right.
If he goes good, I'm not saying I'm not crapping on him too. I'm not going to be staunch and be like he's useless. I'd be happy to pick him up if I seen him going good there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just not enough to back it up for me on the eye test or the stats either.
All right. So Tilly Tupanua, 425,000 in 2024. He averaged 81.25 in 80-minute games. He probably is a 600K player when he plays 80 minutes. So I think them stats are definitely inflated. They're way too inflated. But just need to wait and see what the role is. Obviously, kick out and Preston on the edges. If he pushes kick out of a starting role, or like potentially kick out goes, I see well where Kiko goes to middle, man. I see a kick out played front row for, I'm pretty sure it was like the Origin side in under 19s or some shit. Or no, it was the Penrith NYC side. Yeah. He played front row. I see it happening. Yeah. Oh, you hate it. Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like it there. You know, I want to see him go back to his best on the edge.
They need big forwards in the middle, and I see them moving someone, and like, I don't know, it just makes sense for kick out to be that big guy. He's super
lean though. He's looking lean as.
Yeah, maybe to play front row.
Yeah, maybe they get more minutes out of him. Yeah, I don't know. No, let's not do that.
So Tupanua, I guess he's just a wait and see for me.
Yeah, I didn't look into him because I thought he'd be coming off the bench. I thought that price is just no.
Most likely he does. And
probably lose cash if he's not getting minutes. So
exactly. Brenton Piakura is my next one, 402,400. He's
in
also
your side.
He's in my side.
Wow, so yeah, I know. I think that's madness. I don't know. What have you had a chat to him personally? He's told you he's going to change it up, or?
Well, I think you've got to be.
This is the year. He's been hyped up for a while. In the last 2 years, he hasn't really.
Think about last year. Why I did well. I loaded up on Cowboys because I thought the Cowboys were going to start hot.
Fair.
I loaded up on, there was another side, I forget who it was. I think like Roosters with Tedesco and, getting in Crichton early. And I think you've kind of got to roll with who you think's going to do well. And like for me, the Broncos with Madge, I've got Walsh in my side, Cobbo's in my side, I've got Brenton Piakura, and the main reason
this could be the fall off of Savs.
It could be.
You've been pretty consistent for a while. Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna have a drop off.
No,
here
it
from
could be, but I could keep it up because the main reason is look at Jaden Sewell last year next to Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt's going to be playing that left side for at least the first 9 weeks.
Yeah, okay. Well, for that factor, that's nice.
It's a nice little difference.
Could open it up a bit more.
So, like, Ben Hunt is obviously run first half, and especially with Adam Reynolds in the side, he's going to be run first. And run first is very good for edge back rowers because,
support play
right off their hip. He was at 426,000 this time last year, and everybody had him. He's cheaper this year.
Yeah, but we've now...
Yeah, I know.
I had him in my side all year, and there's plenty of other people that had too, and I held... He was one of those guys you kind of like held for buys, or then he'd have an injury for a couple of weeks, and we were running low on trades. I had him the whole way through, and he just kept putting out... Like, you had to play him every week because he just on paper was the guy you had to put in your side.
Yeah, but also, last year was his first full year starting.
18 games, averaging 41... Base of 34.
Last year was his first year starting. He got a Queensland camp debut, so he got that experience.
Over 60 points, just 6%.
Yeah, well, be prepared for that number to go up this year. This is like a vibe thing.
He's got to improve. Like he can't be getting worse at that. Like because he's very well hyped up as a footy player, and he does look good as a footy player. He looked great out there. He's very, very solid. His defense is great. But he's just not happening for SuperCoach.
How many games did it say he played last year?
18 games.
18 games? Only played 5 of them were 80 minutes. He's an 80-minute edge back rower. He didn't play 80 minutes because of someone else like knocking on the door.
Yeah.
He's going to be an 80-minute edge. He's got Ben Hunt alongside him.
He averaged 65 minutes. They're only going to get an extra 15 minutes at best out of him.
That's true. But also,
so that I don't know, and that
And
PPM,
also-
I can't do the maths of 0.63, but maybe it jumps to 50, and there's value there if it does.
the
but-
Broncos had an awful year.
yeah, true.
That's the worst you're going to get from
So if you're going to add, so if you're going to go the
adding
plus
Ben
factors,
Hunt,
Ben
adding
Hunt,
Ben Hunt.
they've had a bad year. They're going to have a better year. They've got a different coach, new
So
energy.
it probably adds
Minutes
up to
could
about.
go up. There's a few extra plus signs there.
So it equals probably a 75 average.
He just did my head in last year, so I'll let him see him go well first, and you can cheer it on from round 1. And if it goes good for you, I'm stoked for you. But I'll jump on round 2, 3, 4, whatever I have to.
Is he in your black book?
Nah. I'd actually put him in my red book at the moment. If I had one.
Okay. All right. Jack Bird, 379,000. We've obviously, we've got skipped past Aaron Clark and Sam
Did him last
McIntyre,
week? Yeah.
but we spoke about him in the front row. So
Yep.
go back to that episode if you want to hear about him. But Jack Bird makes him a real Jack Bird going into lock makes him a real good option. He played 7 games at lock in 2023 for an average of 63.8. He played 3 games at lock in 2022 for a 92 average. That was with a monster 131. So against the Titans, I don't know if you're putting that in to skew the stats, but he scored at 88 and 57. So it still reads pretty well without the 131. But at lock, if he's named to start, I think he's a really good option. It's just whether his body can hold up.
Oh, he's in the black book. Yeah, so last year was a drop-off year, averaged 39. Years prior, 2023 averaged 55, 2022 averaged 54.5, and 2021 averaged 57. So he's in that sort of 57 mark consistently 3 years prior, and then goes to 39 last year. At lock, 9 games over the career, average of 66.5. Pretty solid for the price point. If that's what you can put out close to that, that'd be great. Back row, even if you did go to back row, still averages 55 there. Had 21 game sample size in back row. He had a lot of games at centre and also in the halves, most of his career in those other positions, halves and in the centres. So, yep, I'm pretty big on it with the dual position as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to slide him down now into centre wing where I wanted to. That's the only one change I've made. I think I brought Horsburgh in to second row, and then yep. So I think he's a good one. The only thing could be is he does get a bit beat up with injury. The last 2 years he only played 14 games respectively in those games compared to pretty much full seasons the years prior. So maybe expect that. Keep an eye out for it, but if it happens, it happens. Some injuries happen, but at that price, good value. Hopefully he makes good money, can get him up to like 500k and move him onto a keeper.
I agree. I like him, and I guess at the price, not much downside there. Kuli Kefu Fini Fuiaki. Can you say it for me, Timmy?
Oh yeah, I'll try the last bit. So I know I add too much to the surname. I add a bit extra, a bit
Finu
more of a
Feki, Fiki.
So it's Finu Fuiaki. It's just Finu Fuiaki.
Yes.
But I say Finu Feki Fuiaki. I check the Feki.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's because I'm trying to get the Kalefu from the first name. I think that's where it's jumping
Kunikefu.
into it. So I'm a bit dyslexic and it's just all jumping around. But that's good.
Uh,
Keen on him too. He's in the black book.
He's in the black book.
Yeah.
He is in a lot of sides this year. I'm very keen on him. He's not in my side currently. I've got Tuolangi and Piakora over him at the moment. But at the price, I probably should downgrade. He's he was a headache for me last year. But every time he played 80 minutes, I wanted to play him. In 80-minute games last year, he averaged 48.45 in games he played over 60 minutes. So already there, he's averaged at a 37.6. There's 8 points value. We expect 80 minutes on the edge for him. He's a big attacking
You expect
weapon.
80?
At least 70.
Oh, cool. Because I was unsure. Because of the dynamic. But you reckon he's the main...
I don't think
he's a bit of a
I don't
beast.
think he plays edge. Like, this is assuming he plays edge. And I think he probably comes off the bench.
Oh, do you?
I think so.
Dang.
I think
Yeah.
so. Because they've got
New
Lemuelu.
guy.
Lemuelu. They've got Tom Gilbert. They've got...
He's not super seasoned. He was just sort of...
No, but maybe he's more of an experienced edge than Lemuelu, potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they put Felice Kafusi back there? I don't know. It's just like for me, the Dolphins, it's so unknown. If he does get a start, I'm not even confident he's going to play 80. But if he does, like I expect him to play over 65, where there's already value. But for me,
so he's in my book, but I wouldn't say he's like locked into my side either because, last year averaged 37.5, and he averaged 54 minutes in that too. So it does, it's not too crash hot, and there was 23 games there. One thing I did look back to, I'll read out his 80-minute games from last year. So he averaged 54 in 80-minute games. He had 32 in round 5, 47 in round 6, some good ones. Round 8, he had 86. Round 13, 76. Round 14, 57. Round 21, 43. Round 24, 37. So there's, in that, 3 bad scores, 2 good ones, and 2 okay-ish ones. So yeah, it's a bit hit and miss. And a new side, how does he fit in? The price is okay, but he could be could be a guy that you play and he underwhelms, and he's one of your annoying scores. You take him, might not be the lowest that drops out. Could be your second or third lowest. I don't know. Also, this is the part where I almost did my head in and quit SuperCoach. When I was looking at SC stats, they've got him playing 24 games last year.
Oh, yeah.
That made me question every stat that I'd looked into. So he'd only played 12 games last year, but SC stats had him down for 24, and that made me then question everything else that I've done for the past few weeks.
Yeah, I got the missed calls. I was...
Oh, mate, you have no idea. I was walking around my room, like, what am I going to do? I almost ripped the book up.
You're messaging admins.
Yeah, I think you were just like, just give it a bit of space. Don't talk to him now. He's hot.
Yeah, Fini Furiaki, I think through my team structure at the moment, he's someone I'm happy to...
Oh, you're big on him. He was your guy on your team. He did okay. He featured for you. It's funny to see you, because you've had a relationship with him too. So this is funny how, like, you're fading him, but you'd have Piakura sort of thing, and then we're switching.
But Piakura didn't burn me. Fini Furiaki was very annoying for me last year.
But he was even more annoying. Piakura was more annoying.
We're taking each other's poison.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Sloppy seconds.
Yeah, we should take each other's advice and be like, no, my guy's no good. You don't want him. He's no good. You don't want him.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. But I think it's good. It's good how SuperCoach works, because I think some of these players that burn people, some of them end up coming back and like being, they're on a lot of people's never again list a lot of the time, and I think you can't have a never again list because I feel like players come into their own, especially when they're young. Yeah. Like their game develops, they go to new sides.
I'm happy for him to do it, and I hope it goes good for you, but I'm not willing to just back that on a hunch considering what he did to me last year.
Yeah, well, I hope Fini Furiaki does the same thing for you. Nafahu White, we spoke about him last week. Corey Horsburgh, we spoke about. Kobe Hetherington, 338,000, tipped to get that lock spot. He averaged 40 minutes per game last year, 32 base. He had 3 80-minute games last year. He had a 67-minute game for 46, a 54-minute game for 53, and a 61-minute game for 42, and a 58-minute game for 52. So not much upside there. I don't love the look of the stats, but 338,000, I think downgrade option if you're really desperate. It's not too bad, but there are a couple of other guys I like.
Yeah, so I've got over 45-minute games. This is last year. He had, I don't know how many games here. I've confused myself, but 45.5 points. Oh, yeah, 6 games with an average minutes of 61.5. So I looked into when it was over 45 minutes, but that average actually was generally 61.5 across those 6 games. My note as well, too, that I've just put would have to probably jump over 45 minutes to be about 10 to 8 points value. Not much upside, meat and potatoes. And I just don't think that the cash gen would be worth the trade. The money he makes would be worth then moving him on, and he's not really that super playable.
Like, for me, he's not going to be that guy who scores a try and then his cash generation for the 3-game rolling average just jumps up completely. I think he's going to be a real annoying own, unless he ends up getting 80 minutes, which I don't see.
The Payne
I just feel like
injury could
potentially,
factor
but
into that
I also
first 4 weeks.
I also think like the minutes aren't going to change much. I think the reason they're putting him at lock is so Jensen can come on the field instead of Jensen coming off for him, and like he's not getting a starting role because he's played
spot.
well.
Yeah.
He's getting a starting role because someone else.
It suits the dynamic.
Yeah,
of the side,
exactly. Matty Nicholson, 336,000 for the Canberra Raiders. Zach Hosking injured, potentially getting a starting role. I don't know much about him. I tried to look into him in Super League stats, couldn't find anything. But at the price, if he gets a starting edge role, we know Ricky loves his Raiders and that they tend to show up SuperCoach-wise. So I am interested. He's in my black book if he is in. Kai O'Donnell. Now, Kai O'Donnell is a massive one here.
Before we move on, I just want to say 16 tries across 46 games for Warrington Wolves.
Right.
Pretty good try conversion.
It's okay.
It's not too shabby.
It's an okay.
It's got to be at least close to 1 in 3. Yeah, it is 1 in 3.
1 in 3, how many games?
46 games, 16.
16.
So 15, 45, 1 in 3 pretty much. Yeah.
Let me blow your mind.
Yeah.
Kai O'Donnell tipped to get that right edge spot for the Cowboys. Come over from Lee Leopards.
Okay.
Bateman is tipped to play through the middle at 522,000. You've got nothing on him, eh?
No, I'm doing how many people I haven't added to my book, so it's going to get messy when you ask me later. But yeah.
Kai O'Donnell.
don't either, no.
So last year, I've got a stat here from the Lee Leopards website.
Yeah.
And it's a summary of their season. And the quote says, key man, Kai O'Donnell was ever present in the league with over 800 tackles and almost 2,500 metres with the ball. An all-rounded excellent campaign. That's on the Lee Leopards website. His stats from Super League last year in 27 games, mind you. 11 tries, 5 try assists, 800 tackles, which averages 33 per game. 2,500 metres, which is only 100 metres per game. 74 tackle busts, which is an average of 3 per game. 13 offloads, which is an average of half an offload per game. So, like, tackle breaks and offloads wise, not much there, but 11 tries, which is pretty much a strike rate of 0.5. Try assists every other game.
What's his name? Kai O'Donnell.
Yep.
And Cowboys.
Yes. 300.
Where's he picked up from? Because he hasn't come up in either Fox or Timmy's
300
starting 17.
Well,
and you reckon he's going to start?
This news has only come up recently.
Oh, wow. Where's this come from?
Sources.
All right. Oh, we can't reveal your sources. What is it, the Whisperer? I'm not even going to go, but that's probably where you saw it, right?
It's just the way you said it. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying that's probably where you saw it. He's got a lot of scoops. I think he's been watching their training by the sounds of it, or he's getting the information from someone who is watching their training.
Yeah, I don't know if he posted it, but someone...
Well, yeah, I don't even know. I've got him scrambled because I don't have his name written down.
Someone tipped me off, and I've heard a lot of other whispers that Kai O'Donnell is the favourite for that spot.
O'Donnell.
You know, with the Super League stats, he was 16th, I'm pretty sure, on the try-scoring tally last year for the competition.
How much is he?
336,000.
Oh, okay, he's an import. Yep.
Yep.
All right, well, definitely keen.
You keen?
To find out more, yeah. Especially if he starts too, like that's interesting.
Yep. So the right edge spot for the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do well this year, but like someone like Kai O'Donnell at the price, I like it.
Yeah.
And the stats read well. They weren't amazing, but they read well. Sul Wong, 318,100. Didn't really get much game time last year. The sample size is hard to read into, but I saw a report today from a page saying he's in the lead for the start.
Wasn't he, mate? Okay. If it is the Whisperer, credit him.
No, it's not.
Doing a lot of work out there,
mate. It's not the Whisperer. This one was the SuperCoach breakdown, so I'm not quite sure where they've got their sources from. I think they might have heard something from somewhere, but I think Butcher gets the starting role. But I thought I'd just flag Sul Wong.
Yeah, so 8 games last year, 8 games the year prior. Yeah, his minutes jumped. He dropped by 10 minutes on the previous year of 2023, and his average scoring dropped as a result of that as well. So, I've got games where he's gone over 50 minutes. He jumps to 42.5 last year. It's pretty much all in base too. Reserve grade, though, which like looking back, it's over 2024 and 2023 as well, when he wasn't playing first grade. Average of 62 in 2024, average of 67.5 in 2023, 62.5 in 2022, all playing bigger minutes, like 70-plus minutes. So, yeah, it comes down to the minutes and the role. I think eventually he might get his way into that. Like, I think he seems like he's got more upside in him than a Butcher to me.
I think
for
so
their
too.
side.
I think he's got like a bit of like good strength about him, which I like. But Egan Butcher, I guess we can talk about him at the same kind of breath. 310,000. He averaged 56 in his first 9 games on the edge in 2023. Averaging 65 minutes, 42 in base. So
was it nearly everyone's starting side? 2 years ago? I think it was.
2023. And I think if he gets starting edge spot, he's probably just as attractive at the price.
I skipped him just because I'm being a bit like. The only thing is how much their team dynamics changed up as well. Like, and how much more that then brings everyone else up. The pecking order a bit.
I personally think Nat Butcher gets the right edge spot, and then Radley plays through the middle. But there is a world when Nat Butcher comes on and plays middle just to help out because they haven't got a lot there. Yeah. And then, an Egan Butcher or Wong does play on the right edge. But I guess for me, like, it's a wait and see. Whoever gets that right edge spot, I will be interested in, especially if it is a probably not a Nat Butcher, but if it is a Wong or Egan Butcher.
Yep.
Josh Schuster. 265,000. We're getting into the cheapies here. Average 61 in 2021, playing number 12. Obviously, the Wayne Bennett factor. If he gets starting spot and he's named round 1, if he's named on the bench, what do you do?
It's a tough one. It depends. If he's named on the bench and there's other starters available in other sides that are at a similar price, like guys we've just gone past, you know what I mean? Maybe pick them over there because you've got more surety about their minutes, and you can always drop down to someone like Josh Schuster at a point when he is getting better minutes. But if we are scrambling to try and fit, enough players into our side to make things work, I think he could be happy that he's not going to lose much money at 265k. But yeah, I don't know what sort of role he's going to have in the back row. He's averaged 53.5 over 18 games. That's when he's playing 75 minutes. So I just don't know whether the minutes will be there to start with. I can't imagine they'd be there that really, really going all in on him because he's sort of just a bit of a comeback story. Yeah, 2023 average 45, 2021 average 61. So both good scores there. And looking at that when he's playing in the back row in those years, because 2022 he had a bad year, averaging 23. But looking at just these good years of 23 and 21, in the back row, 16 games, averaging 54. But again, minutes of 76.25. So, yeah, I'm just concerned about the minutes, but at the price, I'd be happy to sort of just get him in if there's not better options.
Yeah, I think you're looking way too far into it.
35% owned.
If he's in, just get him.
But if he's coming off the bench and playing like bugger all minutes, then...
Yeah, if he's off the bench, I'm a bit more standoffish, especially if there's like other cheapies named as well. And the last one I've got here, Charlie Geimer, 232,000, 2 games in 2024 for 43 and 37 in 45 and 41 minutes at a 1 ppm. If he gets a role off the bench or starting, I think he's a pretty solid bench option, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's a real beast guy. He had that sort of hop good factor going through the middle and just work rate. Yeah, so average 40 points over 2 games in 2024.
Yep, I just said
43, yeah. So looking at his New South Wales Cup stats for 2023, when he's playing in lock, so through like a middle role, he averages 55 over 69 minutes. And back row, it drops off a bit. He doesn't seem to really have the upside there.
He'll probably come on through the middle anyway.
Yeah, seems like a middle guy, doesn't he?
He doesn't really seem agile enough to play edge, but yeah, I think that's it. Usually,
Dimitri Valmega is very high owned as well, 20% ownership.
For who?
I think he's plays at the Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Formerly known as Dimitri Sayefakula.
Yes, there is a lot of talk about him potentially getting a starting role.
Changed surname to honour his mother. Little fact, I just digging in.
Right.
I was trying to work out who he was. Yeah, with all the. So that's
just like the Greg Lalesiano days for Greg Marju.
Yeah.
It's weird when players do that, but I kind of like
Quirky and fun.
Yeah, I like when they do it. It's kind of fun.
New year, new me sort of vibes.
Exactly.
So looking at him, 2024 and 2023 NRL. Last year he had 4 games. He only averaged 29 because his minutes were only 19 minutes, but his PPM's 1.49 there. And then looking at him in reserve grade, when he's playing like sort of 65, 52 or 57 minutes in these positions. Like, so in lock, he's averaging 58 over 10 games.
Yep.
So he's definitely a beast. It just comes down to the role.
Cool. Honestly, if he gets a starting role, like he's locked in to a lot of sides, I reckon. But not as much there as years past. Like for me, the middies in 2RF are like, they're always the biggest subject to talk about, but it feels
often
like
red flags. Could be quite a few red flags in some of these, and there have been in the past too.
Yeah. And I think last year, like the Piacoras, the Wongs, the Sean Lanes, we were burnt from them all, and we had to move on quickly to make sure we did well. And I think we are quite burnt from them, but I'm giving them another crack.
So do you think in second row you're probably going to start like with one gun, or maybe just what would be your most expensive guy? Will it be a mid-range like 500 guy?
I've got Homoli in there,
yep.
And then I've got Piacora Tuolangi, and then I've got Nicholson.
So Piacura is your second guy.
Yeah, and then I've got Nicholson, Butcher, Schuster. So my reserves are below 350.
Yeah. So that's where I feel like things could really become with people that are going that 3-gun fullbacks. That if they're like putting out 20s, 30s, and you're relying on which one am I going to play, and they're all not working.
But the thing with this team structure is Tuolangi, Piacora. I can downgrade to Finifuiaki. I've got Jack Bird to downgrade to. I've got many options that are below what they're priced at that I can go down to in case they do fail. So I guess, and I've got 150k in the bank with the 3 fullbacks. I've got 3 gun centre wings one Cobbo being one of them. And
how much is Cobbo?
550. All in on the Broncos, mate. All in on the Broncos. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I'm not sure if everyone's left us, but
I'll give you an update on the guys from the 2RFs that were in from last week. You get a bit of a vibe of which ones I'm keen on from this list anyway. Yep. So from last week it was Isaio.
Yep.
Eli Katoa.
Yep.
Hamoli Olakawatu. Jermaine Hopgood. Zai Papali'i. And then I've added just this week Liam Martin, Jack Bird, Finifuiaki, and then a bunch of other these sort of could be headaches, could be depending on starting roles.
I'm very keen on Jermaine Hopgood, by the way. I think I might go Olaquatu to Hopgood, but they're very similar price, so I guess we'll see. A lot of these guys are playing in Vegas, so we'll know week 0, and it's obviously going to be annoying again having the 2-team list, but we'll get there. Thanks for tuning in. Anything else?
Just keep doing the homework. We're getting closer. Each week we keep edging away closer and closer, so it'll be on us before we know it.
3 weeks till TLT.
Is it really that soon?
Pretty much, yeah. And then 2 weeks. 2 weeks till Sportshed TV charity match on the Sunday. Right. And then I think TLT's the following week after that. So, we'll catch you next week, and good luck with your team picking.